morning, good evening, or good afternoon, depending on what side of the pond you're on, and welcome to an extra special edition of Across the Pitch. My name is Phil Kennedy, and I'm joined by Tony Robinson today, and we're very excited to have our first Accrington Stanley interview of the new season. And we have the man of the hour with us. He has only played 2 games for Accrington and already found the back of the net 4 times. He doesn't really need any other introduction to that. Welcome to the show, Tariq Uwakwe.
Thank you. Hi, guys. Hi, Phil. Hi, Tony. Good to be on the show.
Nice to have you, Tariq, and we're looking forward to having a chat with you. I know it's been a hectic couple of weeks for you, and
yeah.
You know, but we're glad to kick off the players' interviews with yourself. So you know, sit back, relax, and we'll do the tough part. We'll ask the questions. You just give us what you think are the right answers.
Yeah.
So now we understand it was kind of a last minute thing that you heard about the transfer to Stanley. We saw the interview that he had done that you said it was kind of your agent told you, and he said you were ready to go, and the rest is history, and now you're here. Did you want to tell us a little about that?
Yeah, so I've been trying to get out on a little loan spell for a bit now. Probably started last Jan. A lot of clubs were looking at me in the Champions League one to take me out for a 6-month loan. But I got a blood clot in my left calf and behind my knee, so I was having a little problem like getting my fitness back up when the time came around. So I was out for 3 months from October to December around that time, and came back right at the start of Jan. So I was literally building back up fitness, and I didn't make it in time to get out anywhere. So this season, it was literally just all about getting into a first team and just getting as much games as I can, really. And there was a few mentions of me going here and me going there, and there was nothing really concrete. So I was just happy just getting in training and playing some friendlies with Chelsea, but just with the goal in mind that I wanted to get out and just play some first team minutes somewhere. But then Accrington came in, spoke to my agent, spoke to Chelsea, and then my agent spoke to me, and he just said, "Are you ready?" And I just said, "Yeah, like I'm ready to go." And I was just ready, so I said, "Yeah, let's get over there." And I think it probably happened a couple days after I first spoke to my agent about it. Then I was over there, literally playing a game the next 2 days, then another game, I think 4 days later or something like that. Yeah, but it's been great so far.
When you mentioned about going before on loan, and they were looking for a 6-month period.
Yeah.
Is this a 12-month loan, like a full season loan, Tariq?
Yeah. So I've signed a full season with them, with Accrington.
Well, we're excited to hear that you're going to be around all season, because you've made a heck of a debut so far, and we'll get to that a little bit later. But I did want to ask you a little bit about your early career first. Now, I understand you're from London, and you said you've been with the Chelsea Academy all the way since you were 7 years old. What's it like being away from London in a place like Accrington for the first time? That has to be a bit of a change for you.
Yeah, it's a big change, to be fair. I just moved into my apartment today. But yeah, it's been a massive change. But for me, when I'm playing football, like when I'm on the pitch, it always kind of feels the same. Like it's kind of like home. Not really too fussed where I am, how far I am. As long as I'm playing on the pitch, and I'm pretty much cool. Yeah, it's been a change outside off the pitch, to be fair. Trying to get used to your surroundings. Things like just knowing where the right places are to maybe go and eat, go shopping, just things like that. Small things that you don't really think about in the early days. But yeah, it's been all right. I'm adapting slowly. I'm getting there.
Well, that costs one question off I had on the list, because I know last time I saw an interview, you were still in a hotel. So I bet you're pleased to be in your own place. And and get some sort of normalcy and settled in a bit, and that's got to help your peace of mind when you go on the training ground, right?
Yeah. I think it's something you need, really. You don't really like going back to say the hotel and you don't really know when this is happening and that's happening. So it's a lot more comfortable now that I'm going to be staying in my apartment, and I can start to kind of familiarize myself with my surroundings and then just get a bit more comfortable, to be honest.
One of the other things that we wanted to kind of ask you about is, so you came in, you had that first game against Leeds United, and then you also had the game against Peterborough. And I've been watching you out there, and so you've been playing kind of a wide midfield role. And just watching you, I can imagine you playing it at just about any position on the pitch. What's your natural position?
I started out as a midfielder, kind of a box-to-box midfielder, so like a typical, what we'd call a number 8, so kind of up and down. But over the years, I've literally played in so many positions. I was growing up probably around under 14 season. I had a little stint at left back till about under 16. Went back in midfield, then started playing a little bit on the right, in the 10, on the left. Literally I've played in so many. I would say my best position, I think, is probably the 3 behind the striker, so off the left, right, or in the middle. I think I can do them all quite comfortably.
So the offensive-minded midfield, maybe kind of like the wing or the central attacking. Do you like playing in the middle or on the outside better?
To be fair, I used to love playing down the middle. I've started to favour the right a little bit more.
And which foot is your dominant foot?
I'm dominantly left-footed, but I can use my right quite a bit. Yeah.
You're just mentioning about the position. Your natural position, Tariq. I did notice that already you made, after the first week, you made the Sky Bet League One Team of the Week. Yeah, John Coleman made it as well, which is great. But they had you down. They had you down at left back. Is that sort of more a left wing back position? Is that where you think they had you?
Well, in the team, my position that I play in is left wing back. So yeah, it's kind of difficult when you're doing it with the Team of the Week, I guess. To say if somebody's playing left wing and they've also had an outstanding week, and I've been playing left wing back, it's kind of weird. You'll probably just slot me in at the left back position and then put him at the left midfield position. It's kind of weird, but
so the formation that Stanley played against Peterborough was a 3-5-2 with three central defenders and 5 midfielders, and then you were out on the wing in that formation, right?
Yeah.
Well, it looks like I based on the people that has been brought in this season with you in the midfield, and they brought in Cameron Burgess. It seems like John Coleman decided to change formation, because traditionally he's been 4-4-2, and now he's playing to the strength of the team, isn't he? Like with the manpower he's got.
Yeah, I think that's something that probably, I don't know, the team just kind of gelled to it quick. It was one of them things where we played it in the Leeds game. They were playing they played a free the game before that, but I wasn't there. And it was a different kind of free in midfield. So when it came to the Leeds game, everything just kind of clicked, and I was just so fluid. So when it came down to the Peterborough game, you wouldn't really want to change too much from how you played in the last game. So I think it's good that we found a formation that we can kind of keep improving on, and we've started strong, so we can just keep going, kind of thing.
Well, and people have mentioned about the Leeds match and saying that there were a younger team that Leeds put on the field, but you can only play the teams that's in front of you, and from a standpoint mentally, that had to be a nice entrance or welcome for you, and a confidence builder for not only you but the team. Even though it was a 7-0 win, it was still got to be good for the mental aspect.
Yeah, literally, it's you can only beat what's in front of you. So we know that before the game, I knew Leeds had some problems with some of the COVID stuff going in with some of the players. So pretty much the whole team got quarantined and stuff. But you can only beat what's in front of you, and it was literally worked out in the best way for me, because the start I've had at this club has just been amazing, to be fair. So hopefully I can just keep that going and just keep getting wins. But yeah, it's been a crazy start, to be fair.
And how are you blending in with the other midfielders? I mean, you've got some good quality players, in the lineup that was out the other day, with Butcher, Keneally, Pritchard, and Sangari. I mean, that's a pretty decent midfield, isn't it? And you're part of it.
Yeah. The midfield, to be fair, it's a really good midfield. And what's even better is that we're all quite young, so getting to know your other fellow midfielders and stuff like that, it's quite easy. Like the team gets on really well, and it just helps a lot. You can see that when we're playing. It just helps a lot. But yeah, the midfield's good.
One thing that I noticed here looking at the stat sheet was that he hit 9 crosses on Saturday against Peterborough. And when I was watching the match, it really looked like you were kind of the primary creator that was bringing in the ball and serving it into the forwards. Is that going to be your role? Is that something John Coleman has talked to you about?
We've spoken about it a couple of times, but anytime I've got a little bit of space when I'm on the wing, to be fair, even if they didn't say it, it's something I've done quite a bit, to be fair. It's just something I like to do. Just get balls in, kind of threaten in any way I can. On the offensive side, just threaten the other team as much as you can, really. So if that's getting an assist, maybe scoring a goal, anything literally, or doing something that makes the team kind of stunned, and then we can get a goal from that. Like literally anything, just to tip the favour in our way. But yeah, I spoke about it with John quite a bit. But the players know, like whenever there's time and space, especially higher up the pitch on the wings, the balls are going to come in.
Now, one other thing I noticed is that you were handling a lot of throw-ins, and John Coleman traditionally seems to have 1 or 2 players handle most of the throw-ins. Is that something else you're going to be doing?
Yeah, to be fair, it's something I haven't done for a long time. When I was younger, I used to have one of the longest throws. And then when you move into midfield, you don't really have to do stuff like that. So it's something I haven't done for a long time. But deeper in our half, Cam normally takes the throw-ins, and then I'll stay up. And then as we get further into the opposition half, I usually take over from there. But yeah, it's something I'm gonna have to be doing a lot this season, but I don't mind it at all.
We mentioned, we talked about touched on, I should say, John Coleman, and it came out the news that him and Jimmy Bell and John Doolin have signed 4-year contracts to keep them at the club. And we know that you're just here for the year, but knowing that you've got the club's got faith in the coaching staff, and they're going to be there for some time for the club, that's got to be a good feeling for yourself, and knowing that the club has got faith in the coaching and the management staff. Literally, I literally just saw that about half an hour ago or so. But yeah, the staff members that we have here, they're just superb. The amount of confidence they give me going into a game and training, it's just something that you need every game, and it just helps you so much. So to see that those 3 have signed 4-year contracts, it's just something great for the club, to be fair. Just for the long term, it's something great.
Well, one of the things I wanted to ask you about and also compliment you on, and it's something that we've really kind of touched on already, is it seems like you are just a man of all trades on the pitch, where there is not a single skill on the soccer pitch. And I don't know if you're familiar with American baseball or not, but in American baseball, we have a term called 5-tool player, and in baseball, a 5-tool player just means a guy that does everything.
I'm not even too familiar with that.
Okay.
There you go.
So what? I think you're definitely a five-tool player on the pitch, but what do you think is your best skill on the pitch, and what's one that you're working on still?
To be fair, I'd say my long range shooting is probably the thing that I like best about my play. I love scoring goals, obviously, but when you score the long range ones, just like nestle in the net and that, I don't know, you just get an added boost. Yeah, you just get an added boost kind of. Things I'm working on, to be fair, I'm still working on everything, even down to shooting. I'm always working on shooting. You can never have enough of something, literally. So my right foot, I'm always working on that as well. My 1v1 defensive stuff, offensive stuff, my long balls, like literally anything I can do within being on the pitch after training or something. I'm always trying to work on wherever I can.
Well, you certainly got the right coaching staff, on this squad to help you progress. The one thing I wanted to just admit, and I got this from one of your interviews where you said about playing under 23s, and now you're going into League One. I know you mentioned that you're playing for 3 points now, but what is the difference from your point of view from playing under 23s to League One?
I would say literally the 3 points makes it sound, it doesn't give it the stature it deserves, to be fair. Playing for 3 points week in, week out, literally like that's what you live for in this sport. And to not get them 3 points after a game, especially in like games where you might have worked harder than the other team, you might have played better, not getting those 3 points is a massive thing. But the intensity of the games are a lot harder, I'd say. It takes a lot out of you physically and mentally. Just every game, you just have to literally be on it, because anything could happen in the games. I'd say 23s was a bit more relaxed in terms of you're out there to impress, but at the same time, you might lose a game 1 week and you're not affected, and you're just going into the next week like, it's an individual thing, but you're still playing in the team. It's in a way that somebody might not be having the best game, but you might be playing great, and then like you might stop defending or something like that. You do that in League One. You stop defending or something like that, and your man scores or gets an assist. Like you're gonna get it. You might even be coming off, like things like that. I'd say it's the big difference between making the step up to play first team for 3 points and being in the 23s.
Over here in the United States, we have what's called the USL. And in the USL, there's actually a blend of independent clubs and then clubs that are basically like the youth side for an MLS club.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I've noticed is that if you have an independent club, they're going to play a lot more like you were saying, like in League One. There's a penalty for losing. There's relegation. Yeah. You have to kind of play not to lose. Where if you're more of in a developmental team, I think that sometimes working on the technical aspect of the game sometimes outweighs the outcome. Would you say that's true?
Yeah, I think it does. I think it makes a big difference. Getting in, implementing that from young as well, it helps a lot. So that when you do kind of make the step up, you know how much it means, not just for yourself, but for the other players and the manager and the whole club as a collective, to kind of get the wins and just keep getting 3 points, and then like getting promotions and winning leagues. And then even when you go down, you know how much you're going to be feeling it. It's good that gets implemented from a young age.
Phil, before we go on to the Peterborough match, I just wanted to just touch with Tariq, because he's in his youth career with Chelsea, and this is not something that you see that often, but you won the league and the cup 2 years in a row. That is really hard. That's really hard to do. I mean, that's incredible.
Yeah, we when I was youth player, under 17 and under 18, playing in the under 18s. We literally, I think we won everything. Yeah, we won everything in those 2 seasons that there was to win at that level. Not including the UEFA Champions League, but in terms of league stuff and cup stuff, yeah, we won pretty much everything. But we had Jody at the time, and literally, like, he got us into shape. Like, it was one of the fittest I've ever been in my career. Back then I was struggling with a little bit of, like, I was getting used to playing games kind of quicker and they were coming at me hard, but going into games, we just had the mentality that nobody could beat us. And it was just, yeah, those 2 seasons, they were just crazy.
And that must have helped getting noticed with the England setup, because you played at the U18s, the U19s, and the U20s. Yeah. I mean, that's obviously playing in the system and the setup at Chelsea was, and the success you had translated into the national team program.
Yeah. It always helps when you're winning competitions and when you're winning games and playing well. There's always a lot of scouts and stuff at games. So when stuff like that's happening, it's a lot easier to get noticed. And when you're playing in a team, especially with the team we had, there were so many great players. So it was easy to kind of make your stand and stand out a bit more, to be fair. But yeah, I was with England, made my debut in Sweden. I was under 18, then went up to the 20s and just trying to get back in.
That's a special feeling when you put on the England jersey and walk out, especially for your first time. That's got to be a thrill that stays with you for your life, right?
Yeah, it's one of the best feelings in football. That's what you want to aspire to. Want to keep going from the youth ranks and just make it into the first team, and then keep going from there and hopefully win stuff with the country. But yeah, that's the dream, to be fair.
Is there any player, based on with your style and when you were growing up, obviously been at Chelsea since you were 7, is there any player that you sort of put your style after, or you sort of try and emulate?
I never really set player. I wouldn't say one player that I just looked at and said, yeah, I want to be exactly like him. But I had a few that I used to watch all the time. Iniesta, Ronaldinho, Messi. I used to watch them for a lot. At the time when I was younger, I used to love the way Barcelona played as well. I used to watch them all the time. And then, I don't know. Those are just
you just want to be yourself, I guess. You want to be yourself.
Yeah. I never really had somebody that I said, yeah, I want to play exactly like that guy. It was always kind of, I want to implement things from other players, but use it in my way, kind of thing.
One other thing I wanted to ask, when we said about, coming up from Chelsea, do they get reports on you? Do they send somebody to watch, or how are they keeping tabs on your progress?
So I've been in contact with pretty much all the staff that I was training with back before I left. I've been in contact with them a lot, and obviously they watch the games and stuff like that as well, highlights. But yeah, I'm always in contact with them. We get some of them come down to watch us play, depending on like who's playing like in different countries and stuff. But yeah, I'm always in contact with the staff at Chelsea, and they come to watch us play sometimes. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So they do send somebody up there to watch the games and things like that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we have a fun part of the show that we like to do. This is actually Tony's invention, and it's become our most popular segment, where we're just going to ask you some fun questions. And it kind of started out with some the North England versus South England stuff. So since you're from London, you might have some different answers than most of our guests. But I'm going to turn the microphone over to Tony for rapid fire.
Cool.
Okay, just as I say, just some fun stuff, Tariq, and some of these questions you'll understand they're coming from the from our end we're dating ourselves, so forgive us for that. But anyway, I'm going to start off with an old music question. Beatles or the Rolling Stones?
Beatles.
Now, I don't know if you had time to check this out, but would you prefer mushy peas or garden peas?
Oh, no, I don't do peas, me. I don't do peas.
Oh, okay, well, you're not going to like the mushy ones then. On your bacon sandwich, would you put red sauce or brown sauce?
Brown sauce.
With your full English, would you have black pudding?
No, I'm not a black pudding kind of guy, nah.
Well, they got the world's best black pudding not too far from Accrington. So you're going to have to try that while you're up in Accrington area.
I'll definitely give it a try, but
yeah, good man. Okay, this one we're going to go a soap opera question. Coronation Street or EastEnders?
I'll go EastEnders.
Yeah, I thought you might go that way. It's sort of set more closer to you than Coronation Street. Have you watched Till Sunderland Till I Die? Yes.
Yeah.
Did you like it?
Yeah, it was mad. It was crazy. It was enjoyable though.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to go into a couple of things for inside the dressing room, and you've only been there a couple of weeks, but who would you say so far you've seen is the best dresser?
The best dresser?
Yeah, back in the day.
Oh, who am I gonna go? That's a hard one.
We've heard that it's not Joe Maguire.
Well, that's my next question. Who's the worst dresser?
I'll go. Oh, I haven't seen too much of the lads just yet because we've been coming in literally our training gear, and we've only worn a shirt and tie once. I can't really.
Yeah,
it's
some
hard
guys
to say now.
Okay, well we'll revisit that one.
You can just say John Coleman and win some points with the gaffer.
Well, maybe you could answer this one after the match. Who spends most of the time in front of the mirror?
In front of the mirror. Ooh, who am I gonna go for? I'm gonna have to go for Pitch. I'm gonna have to go for Joe.
Yeah. Okay. And the last one from me is, what's your favorite takeaway?
Ooh, I love a Chinese takeaway, to be fair, or Caribbean takeaway, between the two.
I think you probably get more Chinese takeaway or in that area, but hopefully you'll be able to find the Caribbean takeaway.
Yeah, one of the things that I found out since starting this show that I never would have guessed is how much Chinese food is eaten in Lancashire.
Phil,
but over here in Phoenix, Arizona, and this is my one rapid fire question that I ask. We're into hot and spicy foods over here, and we like to put jalapeno peppers on our pizza. Is that something you would like to try?
I never used to have jalapenos on my pizza, but I've actually started having them now, to be fair. You need some of that spice. You need some of it.
Excellent.
Yeah, it's good stuff on the pizza. You know, you can't put jalapenos. I mean, I put jalapenos on everything. I'll cut them up and put them on my breakfast cereal, you know.
Well, Phil, that would explain a lot, Phil. I want to touch on the Peterborough match, because that was obviously a big game to start the season, and your goal was special. I mean, where you curled it into the top corner. But what about the goal with Dion Charles? What can you say about that one?
That was something special. We were all in the change room after, and we're literally like, we were just staring at each other like, that was just crazy. And we said, and all of the lads said to me, you give him 4 more of them, all 4 are going Rosette. So literally, he just caught it so sweet. It was one of them moments. Everything was just so perfect.
Well, I think I said
everything about that match. It was just one of those matches where you come out and everything works out the way that you wanted it to. You get the 3 points, you get the clean sheet. What, as a player, what excites you more, scoring a goal or getting a clean sheet?
I've always been kind of offensive minded, so I'm going to go with scoring a goal. But clean sheet.
I thought you might say
they're so needed, to be fair. They just ease the game a lot more. But yeah, for me, it's got to be scoring as well.
How would you say overall your performance as a team was on Saturday? Is it you were at the best, or is there still room for improvement? You think as a team you can, and individually you can do better?
I think there's always room for improvement. From not just the whole team, but from me especially. There's still things that I'm learning, new style of play, getting used to where I have to be in position, positionally, getting used to that a lot. But yeah, I think there's always stuff to improve on. But I think it was a superb start from the whole team. And
you're playing Burton on Saturday, Burton Albion, which I mean, you weren't in the squad that played them in the cup, it's a different squad, I think, from that you guys are putting on the pitch. Hopefully, what I imagine, John, is we're working you guys, but you would expect that to be a tough match on Saturday.
To be fair, any game in this league could be tough. It all depends on how you go into it. You can't ever get complacent. You always got to be on it. But yeah, I saw their game against Burton in the cup earlier. And as you said, like not even just our team, both teams have got going to be a change. I'm hearing they've got a lot of injury problems and stuff going on, and we've got some new players, and it's going to be a big change for both teams. So literally anything could happen. It's just about how we go into this game now.
Yeah, they played on the other day against Aston Villa, and they give Villa a good run for the money for about 75, 80 minutes, and then just seem to run out of steam. And I mean, that's playing again on Saturday. That's not a lot of recovery time. Do you think that is something that's going to hurt them, or do you think that they put that behind them and then they'll be ready to go Saturday?
Boy, we hope it's something that's going to hurt them. Playing against a team like Aston Villa, it's a lot. It's going to be a lot on the whole squad. It's not. It seems like enough time to recover, but sometimes it just depends on how your body reacts, and it could go good for others and bad for different players. You just really never know. But we're hoping that maybe it has affected them a little bit, and we've had a longer rest period, so we can just go and get the 3 points on Saturday.
Well, I think it's important, isn't it, when you come out, if you come out strong as a visiting team and can get that opening goal, like you did the other day. I mean, that's got to be a big push for you guys. But it's going to be a tough game. But I think and this is one thing I just wanted to ask quickly is, physically and talent. You got to be physically fit, and you got to have the talent at this level. How important is the mental aspect of it? Like for this Saturday, when you're walking out of the pitch, onto the pitch with confidence, how important is that?
Yeah, it's always important. You need to be confident that you're going into the game thinking you're gonna beat the team. You can't be going into the game thinking, you might not get something this week, because that could affect you mentally. So we're just gonna keep on going into games, going for it. Really, trying to get the 3 points as many games as we can. But yeah, you have to go into every game as confident as you can, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that it's underrated how big of a part of the game that just walking in and having the confidence that you're going to take 3 points. It really is. Well, Tariq, I just have 2 questions left for you. We don't want to take too much of your time today, because I know you got a big game coming up on Saturday. One of the questions I wanted to ask was kind of going back to your preparation, and you sound like a guy that's meticulous in your preparation. How big of a film study guy are you? Are you a big film guy or not so much?
It's hard. I'd say though, because you kind of need to see what's in front of you before you're going into any kind of game. But yeah, I think film it helps you kind of see what the man you're playing up against is most likely to do and how he plays and stuff like that. But yeah, I think film's always needed. I'm probably a film kind of guy.
Yeah, I think especially at this level where there is more and more film available on teams, and it just becomes such an important part of preparation. And then the last thing I kind of wanted to ask you about is, since you've come over to the club, who are you working with more, John Coleman or Jimmy Bell or John Doolan? Who's the kind of the primary midfield coach, I guess I'd ask?
To be fair, I've been interacting with all three, getting advice from all three. When I'm on the pitch, I'd probably say Jimmy and John Doolan have been helping me a lot on the pitch. And then the manager, John, has been helping me a lot off it. But I'm always interacting with all three of them. I think it's the best way to be because you kind of get different perspectives when you're chatting to different people. So it's just good to make sure you know what they want from you. Just different kind of times in the game, and I just interact with all three.
I think that the three of them really do complement each other so well in terms of how they work together, and that's why they've had the success that they had. And now one thing I did want to let you know about John Coleman real quick is I noticed in one of your interviews you kind of said that your coming to the team all happened last minute between your agent and whatnot. Well, we've heard a few guys that have said that when they came over, that John Coleman met up with them and bought up a Starbucks. So if you didn't get that, the John Coleman notes were off.
You ask him for that, Tariq. We won't.
I'll ask him.
Well, Tariq, was there anything that we hadn't asked you about today that you wanted to make sure we talked about before we finish up?
I think you guys covered pretty much everything, to be fair. I don't think anything's not been said.
Well,
I think everything's been covered.
I think I just want to say on behalf of Phil and our team here and the people that have watched you or are going to watch you soon, and the fans and the club, welcome to Accrington Stanley, because
thank you.
It's been a big thrill to see your impact so far, and let's just hope it you get better, you score more, and just continue continued success, and we look forward to many more goals from you, and again, thanks for what you've done so far, and look forward to seeing many more.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Like Tony said, welcome to Accrington Stanley, and we're looking forward to watching you all this season, and then even after this season, we'll continue to follow your career. And we just wish you the best today. It's been great having you on the show, and hopefully we can do it again before the end of the season.
Yeah, hopefully. Cheers, Phil. Cheers, Tony. It's been great.
Cheers, Tariq.
And we always like to finish up with an on Stanley on. So on Stanley on.
Stanley on.